The front door hit the wall so hard I thought the glass might break. Every frame in my hallway shuddered, and a woman, probably in her 50s, marched into my kitchen like she owned the place. This wasn't just some nosy neighbor. No, she had that wild-eyed energy you only see in people who believe, deep in their bones, that they were born to boss folks around. She was swinging a clipboard, like she'd just been knighted by the queen herself, and right there on her lapel, a shiny little HOA president pin was catching the sunlight and blinding me as she ranted. "This is the third violation this month," she barked, her voice shrill enough to wake the dead. "Your grass is half an inch too tall. Your garbage cans were visible for 37 minutes past pickup time. And don't even get me started on that eyesore you call a mailbox." She was counting off my so-called crimes, not pausing to breathe, just marching around my kitchen, running a finger across the counter like she was doing a white glove test in boot camp. She even went as far as popping open my fridge, wrinkling her nose, and I'm standing there with my coffee, caught halfway between shock and amusement, wondering if I'm dreaming or if I just stepped onto some reality TV set. I managed to choke out a polite, "Excuse me, you need to leave now," but she spun around, dramatic as a stage actress, bleached hair swinging, and fixed me with this look like I was the trespasser. "I am Karen Thompson, president of the Willowbrook HOA," she declared, just in case the pin wasn't enough. "And I have every right to inspect for compliance." She actually reached for my phone on the counter like she was about to start snapping pictures of my, I don't know, offensive cereal boxes or something. Instinct kicked in. Maybe it was all those years on the police force, but my voice dropped into that tone I used back in the day, firm, calm, the kind that made folks think twice about testing me. "Ma'am, you just committed a felony. Let me back up a sec. 3 weeks before that, I moved into this so-called peaceful suburban neighborhood, trading sirens and streetlights for barbecues and flower beds. My name's James Morrison, 20 years a cop, figured I'd earned a little peace." Karen Thompson, turns out, had other plans for me. From day one, she had me in her crosshairs, mailbox 2 inches too low, driveway contaminated by a microscopic oil stain that apparently violated HOA subsection 12.4. And this one still makes me laugh. She once told me my American flag was the wrong shade of blue. You know what I mean? Who checks that? I tried to play nice, gave her a nod when she paraded up with her measuring tape, tried not to laugh as she cited infractions. That would make a meter maid blush. But the neighbors, folks who'd survived her for years, just shrugged and whispered, "That's Karen for you. Thinks she's running a boot camp." I figured I could handle it. I'd faced down bank robbers. Surely I could handle one overzealous HOA president. Everything changed after I threw a barbecue. Nothing fancy, just a handful of neighbors, burgers. Classic rock, shut down by 8, while within the rules. Karen showed up at 6:30, tape measure already out, ready to pounce. She declared, for 0.7 feet, between my grill and the property line, when regulations said 5. From there, it turned into psychological warfare. Anonymous notes in all caps on my door. "Your hedges are asymmetrical. Your doormat is not regulation brown. Your car was parked facing the wrong direction for 14 minutes. I'd see her snapping photos over my fence at all hours, once even up on a stepladder, peeking into my garage like a raccoon. In pearls, she started a neighborhood Facebook group just to gossip about my so-called violations, photoshopped my lawn to look dead, told folks I was trying to bring down property values. One day I'm fixing some fence boards out back, headphones on, losing myself in the work, and I guess she saw her chance. My front door was unlocked. Big mistake, I know, and she let herself in. Tiptoed through my house, and started rooting through my stuff. I came inside to find her bent over my dining table, my mail and bills spread out, snapping photos. She'd rifled through drawers. My calendar, even my notebook. I felt a chill, like walking in on a burglar who's too smug to even look scared. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" I asked, going full detective. Voice cold and flat. She puffed up, clutching her clipboard. "Lawful HOA inspection. I have the authority to investigate." "No," I said, flipping my phone to record. "You have zero authority to enter my house. That's called breaking and entering, Karen. Trespassing, invasion of privacy, and depending on what you just photographed, potential identity theft." She let out this nasty, barking laugh. Don't be ridiculous. The HOA charter gives me inspection rights. I almost laughed. Really, I did. Show me where it says you can enter someone's house without consent. Go ahead. I'll wait. She turned pink, then red, shuffling papers, stammering about implied rights. I pulled out my badge, Detective James Morrison, City Police. Her face went white, like a curtain falling. Mouth open, but nothing coming out. And that camera in the corner? I told her. Been recording since you barged in. So's the one in the kitchen. And the front door camera caught you walking right in. Her clipboard slipped from her fingers and hit the floor, panic flickering across her face. She tried to bluff. I knocked. I thought I heard you say come in. I raised an eyebrow. Through my headphones? Impressive hearing, Karen. I started dialing. Her eyes went wide. Wait. We can work this out. I'll leave right now. Pretend it never happened. I shook my head. That's not how crime works. You don't get to take it back just because you got caught. I called it in. Detective Morrison, burglary in progress, suspect still on scene. She collapsed into a dining chair. All that fire drained away, tears streaming down a face that had only just been full of righteous anger. Please, she choked. I run a real estate agency. This will ruin me. You should have thought about that before you broke into my home, or anyone's home. Outside, sirens grew louder, and when the police arrived, I showed them the security footage. The officers' faces tightened as they watched her rummaging through my mail. Officer Martinez told her, "Ma'am, I need you to stand up and put your hands behind your back." She went wild, shrieked about knowing the mayor, about her husband the lawyer, but none of that matters when you're being arrested for trespass and unlawful entry. The click of the cuffs echoed like a judge's gavel. She tried to spit and sputter. It's his word against mine. I just held up my phone. It's your actions against video evidence. As they led her out, she threw one last venomous glare, promising lawsuits and revenge. The whole neighborhood had come out to watch. Mrs. Chun started a slow clap. Bob across the street raised his beer. For a second, I thought about the stories these folks would tell, the day the queen of the HOA got hauled off in cuffs. The DA moved fast. Between my footage and neighbor testimony, the case was airtight. She was charged with trespass, unlawful entry, even attempted identity theft. Her lawyer husband tried to cut a deal, but the prosecutor wasn't buying it. 2 months later, Karen stood before a judge, not a hint of the swagger left, her shoulders shaking as she was sentenced to probation, a hefty fine, and 200 hours of community service. But jail time wasn't the worst of it. The HOA board held an emergency meeting, voted her out unanimously. Neighbors stood up and told their stories. Years of harassment, intimidation, that measuring tape a weapon of mass annoyance. Her real estate firm dropped her, clients vanished, and then there it was, the front page. Headline: HOA president arrested for breaking into officer's home. That booking photo said it all. Now, here's where I want to hear from you. Was justice served, or did it go too far? What would you have done if your HOA president broke into your home? Drop your own HOA horror story in the comments. Let's hear where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more real stories like this one. This is James Morrison, signing off. Hoping your neighbors mind their business and your mailbox survives another week.